Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be talking about another missing person case. This case is also fairly recent, just like all the cases I've covered so far on my channel. Today we're going to be discussing the case of Maya Millette. So since we have a few more details about Maya, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about who she is. Maya, who is commonly referred to as May. So we're going to be referring to her as May throughout this video just because that's what she went by as far as I can tell and what her family and friends referred to her as. So Maya, or May, is 39 and a mother of three. She has two girls and one boy. She was born in the Philippines and moved to Hawaii with her family when she was around 10 years old. May eventually graduated from the University of California, San Diego, and received her bachelor's degree in international studies. In 2009, she began working for the Department of Navy and is currently a military contractor. I know she started working for a new position in 2020, but it's still within the military contractor position field. So May was last seen by her husband, Larry, on Thursday, January 7th, at their home in Chula Vista. 3 days later, on January 10th, May was reported missing after her family and friends were not able to get a hold of her, which was uncommon. They used to chat fairly regularly, if not every day, and they were planning a birthday party and in a group chat. The birthday party was for her daughter, so when she didn't respond and they couldn't get a hold of her, they were alarmed. So the day she was last seen, May and her husband Larry had gotten into an argument, and this has been confirmed by police, by May's sister, and I'm pretty sure her husband Larry as well. So according to Larry, May locked herself in her bedroom after the argument and had remained in the locked room for several days, despite her brother showing up asking about her. So what I gather is after her family didn't hear from her, her brother showed up at the home the next day to ask where May was, and her husband Larry told her brother that she had locked herself in the room. So her brother tried to knock on the door, but there was no answer. So he left. So that Saturday, 3 days after the argument had taken place between Larry and May, her father then turned up at the home. And he wanted to see if he could speak to his daughter, who was supposedly still locked in the bedroom, according to Larry. However, it turned out that she wasn't in the bedroom. And when he knocked, there was no answer, but it turns out that Larry had a key the whole time. So when Larry proceeded to unlock the door, May was nowhere to be found. So on January 23rd, nearly 2 weeks after she was reported missing, police obtained a search warrant for May's home, but they haven't released any findings from this search. However, we do know that there hasn't been any activity on May's bank account since her disappearance and that her phone has gone straight to voicemail since she was last seen. Her vehicle, a Jeep, is still at home along with a Lexus that they have. And the only items missing that I've seen have been a credit card and a military ID. Again, she was a contractor, so she would have that ID, and the credit card is missing, but there has been no activity on her throughout her bank history or transactions. So on January 11th, May and her family had plans to travel to Big Bear Lake. That's what I was talking about when I said they were planning a birthday get-together for her daughter. So they wanted to celebrate her daughter's birthday in San Bernardino County. So hoping she would show up, the family still had this gathering and celebration, but obviously there was no sign of May, which was very unlikely and uncharacteristic of May. If she was able to come and attend, they really believe that she would have came. When it comes to theories, the most obvious theory in this case is that Larry, her husband, is somehow involved in May's disappearance. There are several reasons that back this theory. May and Larry got married in 2000 when May was just 18, but the couple had allegedly been having marital problems for about a year now. Larry claims that after the argument, May locked herself in a bedroom for several days. It's unusual not to check in on your spouse if they lock themselves in a room for a day, let alone several days, especially if you have a key to that room, which Larry did, obviously, because he let the father in when he came to check. May's brother, like I said, had also come over on Friday to inquire about May's whereabouts. And if May was truly locked in the bedroom, at least for the first day, we might understand why she wanted to avoid Larry. Maybe she was scared, but why wouldn't she respond to her brother? It's been confirmed that there was an argument between Larry and May that day, and maybe May didn't want to interact with Larry, but it doesn't make sense for her to ignore her brother when he showed up. In fact, she might be relieved to have her brother there. And this leads me to believe that she wasn't in the bedroom at all. After all, May loved her children, and I don't believe she would lock herself away from them for days if she had that choice. This might be completely irrelevant, but we know that the bedroom door could be locked and unlocked from the outside, since Larry had a key. In many true crime cases, when somebody hurts somebody close to them, they can't really face what they've done, and they proceed to cover their crime or hide the person's face so they don't have to really face what they've done. Could Larry have hurt May and then locked her away in the room to avoid facing what he'd done in a sense? Could he have used the excuse that May was in the bedroom to avoid questions from their children as to where their mother was? And could he have even told them, hey, don't bother your mother, she's in the room, don't pester her? But the next day, Friday, it's reported that Larry left the home for a few hours in the morning, but it's not clear what he did or where he went and why. I'm sure investigators are looking at this and trying to piece together what happened. But another reason why Larry looks suspicious is that he refused to join in with search parties and public vigils held to honor May. And while it's normal for some family members to choose to refrain from these activities when a loved one goes missing, just because they don't want to find, the body or potential body or any, they want to stay at home and maybe be by the phones or be with the children. This, coupled with Larry's refusal to cooperate with police, sets alarm bells ringing. So as of February 3rd, so about 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago, police indicated that Larry is no longer answering questions regarding May's disappearance and has retained a lawyer. So for many, that along with the timeline of events leading up to her disappearance are just alarming. And it makes complete sense. If you have nothing to do with your wife's disappearance, why would you refuse to answer questions? Another theory is that May is truly out there, potentially off-roading or exploring to get away. So she was completely into adventures. I know, like I said, she moved to Hawaii and when she first came to the United States. And she has a Jeep and she loved off-roading. She just bought a dirt bike. And she was in a bunch of groups, from what I can tell, that were for hiking and off-roading. And so a lot of people think that maybe she is just out there exploring. And it's been suggested by Larry that May have gone hiking in the canyon behind their home or in nearby areas. However, searches in the area have been unsuccessful, and Larry indicated that May have wanted some space to clear her head and that this was common for her, but he admits that she would have returned by now following all the media frenzy that this case has received. Um, Her sister, sorry, I'm going to butcher this name, Marcrease, her older sister emphasizes that May would never leave her children. And to me, personally, the theory of her exploring or getting away for some alone time doesn't hold much weight just because it's been over a month since she disappeared. It would be understandable if May needed some time to herself initially after an argument, or if she wanted some time alone for a day or two, even 3 days. But since it's been so long, this theory doesn't really pan out, especially because she'd never done anything like this before where she just disappeared without an explanation. It's also possible that May encountered foul play or had some sort of accident when she did leave to have some alone time. Maybe she did go hiking or exploring, um, and was trying to get away, and then did encounter some sort of accident. However, the family and police and volunteers have searched her regular trails and paths that she would have gone to for some alone time or to hike or to explore, and haven't found anything, which leads me to believe that she was never in these areas to begin with. To me, it's more likely that she never left her home that night and that the answers to what happened truly lie with Larry. However, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and we can't rule out any possibilities with certainty. What we do know for certain is that May's 3 children miss her very much and ask where she is every single day. Her family and community continue to search and pray for her and aren't giving up on bringing her home, and she deserves to come home. I know police are looking at nearby surveillance videos. In her community, a lot of the homes had personal video footage, so they are going through the footage and they're trying to piece together what may have happened. And I've seen suggestions that the Chula Vista Police Department should request help because they are a small, somewhat inexperienced police department. But from what I know, um, there are no other agencies involved, like the FBI or any other law enforcement agencies. But we'll see how that transpires and what happens with that. But Maya May Millette is 5'2" and weighs approximately 105 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She has tattoos of musical notes and a hummingbird and has freckles. If you have any information about her disappearance or whereabouts, you're asked to call the number in the description below. The family have a Facebook page where they post updates about May and the case, along with information just about May in general. And they also hold these virtual prayer calls on Zoom, and they've had them almost weekly, I think. And I believe they're having one today when I'm posting this video. So check that page out if you want to just follow the case. There's also a GoFundMe that the family has created, and I'll leave the link to that along with the Facebook page down in the description below. As always, my sources will also be in the description, but thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.